Welcome back to Drink Read Fabio. I'm Kate Brimmer.
And I'm Sophia Kayafis. And today we're doing an OG Drink Read Fabio video where Kate recommends a book and she creates a cocktail based on the book. And then I have a cringy, cheesy romance book to share the synopsis of with you. And we're going to rate it on a scale of how drunk you need to be to say you actually enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
So stay tuned and let's get started.
So the book that I'm recommending is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. You guys, I finally jumped on the bandwagon and I get it. I get it. I get the hype. I get why everybody loves it. It's so cute, so fun. The characters are so mature and grown up and well developed, and it's just so good. It revolves around a small town romance where a gal comes into town because her sister calls her saying she's in trouble, and basically gets in this whirlwind of drama involving her no good sister. And gets stuck in this town. And so, funny story, I was gonna do espresso martinis because they drink lattes all the time. But you don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ruin you.
Yeah, that would wreck me.
Give you anxiety for life.
Yeah.
So instead, I just made like a super cute, girly, bubbly cocktail because our gal is Naomi. Our gal Naomi is so bubbly and so cute.
We have 3 books now with Naomi as the lead girl.
That's wild.
She's just the it girl, I guess.
The it girl. So cute, so bubbly, so girly. So it is watermelon lime sparkling water, vodka, and Saint Germain to make it sweet.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yum.
Oh.
Okay. Are you ready for the book reveal?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Me.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, what is that?
Tasty Pickle.
Oh man.
And it has a pickle on the side of the book.
No way.
Yep.
That is so silly.
And it says, he'll do anything for a taste.
No.
Yeah. So, I saw this cover, didn't know what it was about, but I had to do this one.
So this is the one?
This is the one. Alright. Okay, I just want you to guess, though, with seeing this cover, what do you think it's about?
I think it's about a chef.
And what's the pickle?
Maybe he... Oh. I don't know. His dick?
Okay. Well, you're gonna find out.
Oh no, the pickle is something.
Okay. So, we meet our leading man, whose name is Axel,
Ooh, hot
out on a hike, naked.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because he likes to. Hike naked. Yeah, that's how we start the book off. So they live in Colorado, so plenty of hiking, and he bought...
Isn't that illegal?
The land that he's hiking on so that he can hike naked. While he's on his hike, he hears a scream, so he heads towards the sound and finds a girl, Calypso, our main lady.
Calypso and Atlas.
Axel.
Oh. Calypso and Axel. Still.
Yeah.
Calypso and Axel? That's stupid.
Running with her pants and underwear around her ankles, like yelling. She's like,
oh no.
Ah!
That's not a good sign.
Yeah. He stops her, like, in her tracks and is like... She's like freaked out. She's like, okay, wait, why is this naked man stopping me, like touching me, like what's happening? And he's like, do you need help? Like, why are you yelling? And she's like,
why are you yelling?
Why are you screaming? What happened? And she's like, he's naked, but he's very hot. So she's like kind of into it. And she's like, why are you naked? And he asks her what happened, and she says that she was trying to go pee and sat on a cactus. And now she has prickly things in her hoo-ha, and like these little like squirrel creatures were like throwing their nuts at her after, so she's like having a horrible time. She's just running. And then she accidentally ran onto his property because she didn't know where she was going.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's on a hike with like her work. So she's not familiar with the area, and she got lost from the group.
Oh man. This
And
girl's
then
a hot mess express.
Yeah. So then he's like, okay, I'll turn around and give you some privacy while you pull the little needles out of your
Parts.
parts.
The lady parts.
And she's like, I can't grab them because the needles are too like small. So
He's like,
yeah, it's rough. So he has duct tape for this reason. Not like but just if you get cactus needles in you, so she can rip them out. So he's standing there,
this is
butt
the
naked.
unsexiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was kind of hilarious. I was like, this is funny. This is a funny meeting for the two characters. What a meet cute. Yeah. So he's butt naked, turned around. She has like her bits out, you know, and she like has the duct tape, and she's gonna like rip the duct tape off her parts. And she's like, I can't do it, I just can't do it. And he's like, do you want me to pull the tape for you? And she's like, no, that's too weird. And then he's like, okay, just breathe with me. And then like breathe. And then she finally pulls it out. And she's like, okay. She puts her pants back on. And he's like, glad that we're blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, wait, maybe I should put some clothes on. Pulls out his clothes from his backpack. And I'm like, bruh, you had clothes this whole time?
You just now thought about that?
Yeah.
Cool.
You're just gonna stand there naked the whole time? Like a weirdo? Then he takes her back to the beginning of the trail and like meets her with her like guide or whatever. And then they part ways, but they didn't get each other's names.
Oh no.
Yes. So later that day, Axel calls his brother to tell him about what happened and ask him to get the girl's name from her boss, who is like, they're kind of like part of their family. And Calypso has recently moved to Colorado and started this new job at this like castle, but it's like turned into a hotel.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So that's where Axel's like kind of family member is the boss of. And so he's trying to get her name, whatever. But she moved to Colorado like very abruptly because she's like running away from her old life, but we don't know why.
Okay.
Calypso gets a knock at her door, and it's Havana, her boss, like the owner of the castle, asking if she's like alright and that she heard something went down when she was hiking, and she's like feels extremely embarrassed, of course, and she learns the name of Axel, and his name is Axel Armstrong.
Okay, fine, whatever, continue.
Actually, Axel Rose Armstrong, like Axl Rose. The next day, Axel receives some intel on Calypso from his brother about like her job that she's doing at the castle and like that she just moved here, and her name is Calypso Ash.
Oh my gosh.
He heads over to the castle the next day, hoping maybe he will run into her and like he's there to like help out because he doesn't work, so he just kind of shows up and like helps out when he can. His family is opening another one of their restaurants.
Fun. Called
Tasty Pickle.
Oh my gosh.
At the castle. He's helping out with the gate outside of the barn, and then Calypso comes running out with the missing screws for the gate.
Of course.
And after they fix the gate, he pulls her aside and asks her if she's okay, and she's annoyed with him because her boss found out about kind of what happened, and he's like, I didn't tell her, like I told my brother, and I guess he told her, but yikes. And she's like kind of upset with him. And she's like, well, he like wants to talk to her more, and she's like, I gotta go give these nails to someone else, I don't know. And she's like, I gotta go, bye.
Like, will never see me again.
Yeah. Then later, as she's heading out of work to grab lunch, he asks her if he can buy her lunch, and she says she's too busy. So that evening, Axel gets a call asking if he will play the ghoul in their Halloween play for the Halloween ball that's happening at the castle.
If it couldn't just get sillier.
Yeah, because they can't find anyone strong enough and tall enough to play the part. Because he's the mountain man, you know? Oh my gosh. And he agrees.
Ha! Like, you're right.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
the only one who can play this part.
Here, I can do the ghoul. I can be a ghoul. So Calypso ends up getting roped in to,
of course,
like, do spotlights. And there's a whole, like, thing with that, but it's too much to get into. And after the show, he gives her his number.
Ooh. And
to come find him at the ball when she gets off work. So she gets off, and, like, she gets off and is, like, about to walk into the ball, and then she realizes, like, she sees everyone in their, like, fancy outfits, and she's like, oh, this is, like, a ball. And she's like, I don't have, like, the proper attire. Like, I feel embarrassed. And the costume lady gives her dress to wear.
Aw, like a Cinderella moment.
Yeah, Cinderella moment. Then she finds Axel at the ball, and they slow dance. After the dance, they decide to walk around the castle, looking around, getting to know each other. And then she tells him about this secret suite. Like up in this tower.
Oh, of course.
And she shows him where it is. And the room is like really cool, high tech, whatever. And he like holds her hand and is like, please, can I take you on a date, like a real date?
Aww.
And she hesitates because of what I already told you. And so he's like, okay, fine, we'll take it slow. Like, I get the memo. And he's like, I'll just come by when you're at work and say hi, and like,
we can talk.
And then whenever you're ready. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. Then they go back and dance together again, and he buys her dress that she was borrowing because he's like, it looks too good on you for you not to keep it.
That's so sweet.
I know. And then he walks her to his room, and they have a little kiss.
Ew.
And he leaves. Her boss asks her the next day to be the assistant manager for the Tasty Pickle.
Whoa.
Just until they get it up and running, because that's like not her like
thing,
expertise, I guess, or like why she's here. But she's like honored that they trusted her so quickly to do that job. So she's feeling good and decides to text Axel, and it's like they're like chatting and making jokes and stuff. And she tells him she has to take cooking classes with the chef of Tasty Pickle to like learn all the recipes so that she can like help out with the new employees. So she asks Axel if he wants to join in the cooking lessons. And then the next day he arrives, and as they're like getting on their aprons and stuff, they make out in the pantry. Yeah, steamy. Wow. And they're learning how to chop like different vegetables and stuff. And Axel accidentally cuts his finger, and he's like bleeding everywhere. Okay. And then he says this.
Oh no.
It's like Beauty and the Beast. And then she says, I'm no beauty, and you're not a beast. I let go of his hand. And then he says, I beg to differ on both accounts. And then she says, then I'm looking forward to seeing the beast.
Ew. Ew.
I was like,
that's
no.
terrible. Not that. Not the beast.
Then they have more cooking lessons, and this like allows them to bond and become friends and stuff.
Friends that make out in the pantry.
Yeah. And then they decide to go on a real date hiking. In the middle of the hike, they come across this old fire tower, and he likes going there because you can see like everything, like
it's like a Footloose moment.
Yeah. And so they climb to the top. It has a gorgeous view, and then they start making out, and he like undresses her and like does stuff to her on the tower.
Whoa.
Yeah. They climb back down to head to his house to have dinner, and like they're walking the house, and then she sees part of the house from the trees and stuff, and she's like freaks out because he has like 3 pools. It's like this huge mansion, and she reveals to the reader that like she comes from a rich family, that her ex-boyfriend was also rich, and he was very, very controlling.
Oh, so it's like a red flag.
Yeah, she was like triggered by it. Because she's like, this is the life I ran away from, and you have it, and I don't want to be a part of that anymore. She's like, I just want a normal life, no rich people, like, I can't do this. So she kind of explains, but she's just like, I just need a minute. I just need space and I need to think about this. Aww. And he's like, okay, well, just text me when you're ready and I'll give you that space.
He's so patient.
Yeah, he is. He's really nice, the guy in this. So he shows up a couple days later at the castle because he's been kind of avoiding it to like give her space and not like be around her. But he's trying to help out with all the restaurant stuff. And he sees her and they like finally get a second alone. And she explains more of like why she freaked out, and they talk it out that like her boyfriend proposed and she didn't want to marry him, and her parents always were telling her what to do, blah blah blah. So she ran away from that, and that's why she's here. And he's like, you can trust me, and she's like, I'll try. And then they kiss and everything's better now. And they decide to go up to the secret suite and have sex. Yeah.
Cool.
After that, they have sex in a different suite every single night.
Of the hotel?
Yeah.
He has a house with 3 pools.
I know. Then the restaurant is ready for a soft opening in like a week's time. So they're starting up some social media content for it. So she's kind of popping up on social media, but she's been trying to stay like MIA. Like she doesn't want them to find her. So the next day they get a call from the restaurant. Or they get a call at the restaurant. Axel answers it, and it's a woman saying that she wants to speak with Calypso. And he's like, she's busy, can I take a message? And she says, tell her we are coming. And he's like, oh, this must be her mom. And he like makes a joke to her, and she's like, who is this? Ew. And he says, someone who cares more about her than you. And he hangs up. Later that night, he tells her about the call, and she's like all anxious about it, and he says he'll be there for her when they show up, and she explains the whole story of everything that went down with them, and he like holds her through the night. The next day, her ex-boyfriend shows up at the restaurant. Not her mom, not her dad, her ex-boyfriend, who could have been the fiance. And
she's like, dude, I don't like you.
And he's like a jerk. He's like, where's Calypso? And she comes out and he's like, I'm here to collect you. We are going home.
Not collect.
Yeah, collect. And she's like, I don't want to go home with you. And he asks her if she will go with him like somewhere so they can talk it out. And she's like, fine, I'll talk to you, but I'm not going. So once they get out of the restaurant, he drags her by the arm and says like, I already have 2 plane tickets. You're getting on that plane. And like shoves her in.
Kidnaps her?
Yeah, shoves her in the car. And she doesn't have her phone. So she's like, fuck. So she like tells him like, okay, turn down this way or whatever. That's like a faster way to go. But like, the road is blocked by a gate, so he has to get out to open the gate, and she like hops into the driver's seat and ditches him. Yeets! In the pouring rain.
Bye!
Bye, bitch!
Bye, bitch.
Axel finds out that she went with him in the car, but he doesn't know where they went. So he like gets in his car and is like trying to figure out where she went. She is unfamiliar with the area. She's trying to find her way back, but it's raining so hard she can barely see anything. So she decides like it's probably better if I get out of the car. And she's like trying to like hike to find the fire tower, because she knows when she's up there she can like see where she needs to go. Once she gets to the fire tower, Axel is already there with a fire going and a blanket. He like knew she was gonna go there. And then they tell each other they love each other. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
But it's fine, it's fine. The next day, she calls her mom and tells her that she's not coming back.
I'm not coming back.
I'm never coming back. She's like a grown adult. Like, leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
Yeah, her mom's a bitch. And she's like, I want you to try to understand me, and if you can't, then don't talk to me and never call me again. But if you someday find it in your heart to understand me, then I'd love to discuss
have a relationship.
Yeah. 6 months later, her and Axel start to decide to start like a renovating old structures in the town kind of business thing. And they start with the fire tower.
Of course.
And he proposes to her on a hike.
Aw, was he naked?
And after he proposes, they hike back to his house naked together. The end.
Ew. Full circle.
That's Tasty Pickle.
Oh man. Wow.
Yay.
Tasty Pickle.
Tasty
How
Pickle.
fun. So we're gonna rate this book. We rate our books on a scale of how drunk you need to be to read them, starting with slightly buzzed, tipsy, drunk, stumbling, blackout.
Yeah.
So, how drunk do you have to be to read this book?
Slightly buzzed. No.
Slightly buzzed?
Slightly buzzed.
Wow.
This cover and name did this book an extreme disservice.
Really?
Yes, because it actually was very cute. Like, the guy was very nice. He wasn't, like, toxic in any way. Her storyline made sense in the way that she acted. Like, even though there was some miscommunication, it, like, made sense why she was being that way. And there were a lot of cute moments, and yeah, I didn't think there were parts where I was kind of bored and I was like, okay, this is kind of necessary. Like, if I'm rating it compared to other books, I'd probably say like maybe like 2.53, but it really wasn't that bad. It was kind of cute. And like, it really read like a rom-com movie.
Oh, fun.
Like you're reading it and it's like, this is not realistic at all.
Yeah, this is silly.
But it's hilarious. Like, imagine watching a movie in the opening scene, this man's hiking naked and then she runs into him with pine or like cactus needles in her.
That sounds like a awful porno.
Yeah, so
anyway, well,
it really isn't that bad. So if you guys
want to read about a pickle man.
Pickle man, Tasty Pickle. And he's not even a chef. Like,
that's the thing. He's not even a chef.
Why did they put him in a chef? Like, they cook a little bit in the book, but he's not a chef at all.
Weird. Anyway.
I
hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a little giggle and laugh. Try to make this drink so you guys can get a little tipsy with us. And like, subscribe, comment, all the things you guys know how to do. And we'll see you guys next time
on Drink Read Fabio.
Bye.